for Hollywood. You talking to me? Oh, hello there. I am Stan the Movie Man, and this is my review of The Little Stranger. It stars Donald Gleason, Ruth Wilson, Will Poulter, Charlotte Rampling, and a few more. It is the story of a British doctor in the late 40s, a Dr. Faraday, played by Donald Gleason. Now, his mother was a servant at a house called the Hundreds, and the Ayers family lived there. Used to be grand and beautiful and just the epitome of English aristocracy. Well, now the house has fallen into disrepair, and so to an extent has the family. Roderick Ayers, played by Will Poulter, is scarred from his time in the British Air Force. He's burned apparently in an accident of some sort, and he keeps to himself. There's Mrs. Ayers, played by Charlotte Rampling, who is still dealing with the loss of a small child named Susan, or Sookie, as she is referred to. And then there's Carolyn Ayers, played by Ruth Wilson. She is kind of got the whole weight of the estate on her shoulders as they have gone from a whole crew of household help servants down to just one teenage girl. Dr. Faraday goes out to the house to treat that particular servant, who is really just doesn't like being out there. She considers it kind of spooky. There's the house is in disrepair, and there's just a feeling of heaviness and malaise and just quite frankly death hanging over the house. Dr. Faraday, who is considered a commoner amongst the people like the Ayers, becomes friendly with Caroline as he treats Roderick for his injuries left over from the war, and they become friendly. But again, there's the heaviness and a darkness and there's just their way of life is dying, both figuratively and literally. And a series of events begin to occur that at first are, all right, Roderick lost his mind and he practically burned the house down. But then weird things begin to happen that are much more difficult to explain. This is a story of British manners, the idea that the classes can't, move up, and that marrying into a family above your station is something that's considered gauche. And it's sold as a horror movie, and perhaps it is kind of a horror movie, but it isn't certainly like The Conjuring or anything along that line. This is a horror of the soul, of dealing with your life as it has been given to you, and how you are trapped in this one place, and you don't feel like you can move forward. But at the same time, the aristocracy is beginning to crumble. Again, this is the late 1940s in Britain, and the Ayers family represents the end of the very, very impenetrable class distinctions in British society. And all the demons or ghosts, they only cause problems from the inside. and whether there's an actual ghost in the house or an evil spirit is kind of left up in the air. Now, if you are looking to jump out of your skin or to be frightened by some horrific special effects, this is not the movie for you. The Little Strangers is simply not that kind of film. And you kind of have to be in the right mood to see it, because you have to pay attention to the story, and you have to be willing to accept that this isn't your basic horror movie. I enjoyed it because I wanted to see where the story went, and it doesn't have a satisfying conclusion, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I think most people who see this movie are not going to like it. So I'm giving it a provisional rating simply because, again, you have to be in the right frame of mind to see this movie. It is again, not your typical horror movie. It's more a the scares, and there aren't really any, come more from seeing how this society is sort of rotting from the inside out, and the desperate efforts to keep things a certain way. I'm giving it 3 stars, and that's just because I feel like I have to give it a rating of some sort. But it's a difficult movie to categorize, because it is kind of not exactly what it's being sold as. Let's just leave it at that. You can go read my complete review of The Little Stranger at StanTheMovieMan.com. You can listen to my podcast, The Fractured Frame, where some friends of mine and I get together and discuss the latest news in movies, TV, and streaming. You can get that on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or any place else that you might download a podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at MovieManStan, and send emails to me, StanTheMovieMan123 at gmail.com. Till next time. Later.